We're gonna find out today how to make the perfect Christmas stuffing. Sometimes I don't even want to eat the turkey, I want to just eat the stuffing. And we have Dan Schroyer here from Schroyer Spices.
That's true, yeah. I wouldn't say it's perfect Christmas stuffing because everybody makes it a little bit differently and every stuffing is perfect in that way.
You look cold, maybe I can give you a nice little hug here. Put our hands over there, okay, very good. Okay, so what do we have to do first, Dan?
So the nice thing about this is that you can prepare a lot of this ahead of time. I do mine the night before I start, and what I do is I dry my bread, take a loaf of bread, cut it up into cubes. I set my oven at 350, and once it gets up to hot, then I just turn it off, put the bread in, and just let it sit there overnight. The next thing I do is make my sausage, which I take a pound of ground pork, and I use garlic, pepper, onion for the spice that I use. So you just mix it in with the ground pork, and you have your own sausage.
So you have all the spices for all of the ground pork to make your own sausage.
And this is the garlic, pepper, onion that we sell at the store. There's about 10 different taste profiles you can choose from. The other thing is that you cut up your veggies. So I got the onions, celery, and mushrooms. Put a little bit of olive amico garlic, roasted garlic, olive oil in there, and that can sit overnight. The other third part is that you have to have broth and some poultry 8 spice that we sell at the store, and 2 eggs. And I put that all in here, beat it all up, and I let that sit in overnight. So then the next morning, when you come in, or in the evening, it's all ready. So you need a big pan. I have one here somewhere, but you put the bread in there, then you fry up the sausage. And you need to crumble it so that it's nice and crumbly. You put that in with the bread, toss it up, and then you toss it in the roasted garlic and vegetables. You're going to fry that in the same pan. Toss it into the breadcrumbs. Pour your broth, it's been sitting overnight, into there, and then you can either put it in a crock pot, an hour on high, and then 6 to 7 hours on low, or you can put it in the oven in a pan like this for an hour, 70 minutes, I think.
Oh, great. Now, if somebody wants to come into your store, you'll show them how to do this?
Oh, we'll make it for them. How's that? No. We won't do that. But we will tell you. We'll have the recipe there, and then we'll go over some things for you.
And for those of you in the audience and also looking in on Facebook, we're going to put the recipe also on our Facebook page, so you can just download from there with the contact of how to contact Dan if you need to get a hold of him and ask him some questions.
But make it your own. Make it your own. Yeah. That's the secret.
Okay, now there's another thing we can talk about just very briefly. One of the nice things I like to have at Christmas is some mulled wine or some mulled cider.
Right. So we have an excellent mulling package here. So where is it here? So we have with nuts and without nuts, and what it is: the cinnamon bark, cardamom, cloves. Now I have to go in here because my mind's going blank. Cranberries, almonds, allspice, anastar, and cloves.
And you make that all in the store, correct?
And we make everything, all the seasonings in the store. No salt in any of our blends.
Now, if somebody wanted to vary it a bit, you could do that.
Yeah, within reason.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, if they want something really, really expensive, then they have to be a bit more. Okay, wonderful. Now, one of the things I've done, because I tried out your recipe, it was delicious, but I found when I made mulled wine, and I found if I added raspberry cranberry juice, it was like a Christmas sangria. It was quite nice.
Mulled wine is a difficult one, and so is apple cider with this. I found you almost have to double for the cider, because this tends to turn apple juice into cider, and with mulled wine, it takes a little bit, and hot wine is not my favorite. But you let it cool, and it's good.
Yeah, and I would recommend get the raspberry cranberry juice.
Yeah.
It makes it say like a sangria, but a Christmas sangria, and it's really quite nice. Well, thank you, Dan, for
Thank you.
I would say coming in, but you didn't come in. Coming out? No, we don't talk about that either. Whoops. Okay.